We're actually young people and we are people trying to look for different ways to achieve success or achieve great things in life. The way you plan your life, the business, everything is not going to come easy like that. Life is not given to you. Life is crazy. Life is wicked. The people you are doing business with, nobody wants to be cheated. Everybody wants something.
Purpose is doing something that in the long term, it doesn't just affect only you. Other people can either draw from your experience or your life can affect them in one way or the other. So over time, you find yourself doing different things at different points in your life, not because you're supposed to make money from that thing, but because of you find purpose. And I don't know if you're a religious person, but I'm a religious person. And my purpose is to serve God and make Him known. So in anything I do, I'm supposed to do it really well.
In our world today, noise can come in different forms. I'm not talking about the noise from loudspeakers or from baby cries and all of that. I'm talking about real noise that can cost you a lot of years. Once you are getting immersed in this social media pressure, you just lose focus, you lose traction, and then you start comparing your efforts to other persons. If you are someone like me that back then I used to doubt, I used to have this fear, like when I come out and I speak to people, I just have this fear that, oh, what if they don't like me, or what if I just mess up, or what if at the end of the day they just leave me. I think one of the steps that you can do to help you become better and shut out the noise, silence the noise, is...
I believe there are a lot of us that have had at some point people say things like, I want to be like Otedola, I want to be like Dangote, I want to be like Mark Zuckerberg, or basically any other prominent people in the world today. But the truth is, they can't. A lot of people are following the crowd mentality and the crowd mindset. They are living their lives based off of assumptions and what people say. Because of these standards of making money, people no longer have or spend time with their families or with their partners. They just believe that that's the goal. You don't have common sense to think of building your character, to becoming good persons to your neighbor, because you feel money is the standard. Now you no longer learn those good attributes, those good character traits, because money is the standard. You don't even know how to communicate with people because money is the standard.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for honoring the invitation to the maiden edition of Ink Limited very first mini experience. We welcome everybody. I'm being put on the spotlight because this is like my very first time to host this kind of event actually, and this is like a privilege for me. Thank you very much for... Sorry for that. Sorry for that. So this is like my very first time that I'm going to be hosting something like this. I'm also welcoming each and every one of us to the maiden edition of Ink Limited mini stage experience. We don't have a lot to do today, but first, before we delve into anything, I think it's best for us that we introduce ourselves one after the other before we bring forward our speaker today to share with us what they have with us. So I think I'm going to start with the way we are seated. We're going to introduce ourselves, what we do, and let's just get to know you. Do you get? Please, let's make it as quick as possible. Thank you very much. The way we are seated, like this.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenny Michael. I'm a content writer, HR professional, operations manager, and just a few of the many things I do. I guess that's all. Right, that's who I am basically. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Ohowori, and I'm a journalist, I'm a writer, and also a poet. I love to use my voice to advocate for vulnerable communities. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Oyeka Machi.
Anything you can tell us about?
Okay. Basically, I just work in a geotech firm. I'm new to content creating. So.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miracle David. I am a farmer. I am a child safety advocate, and also I'm a thought leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. My name is Wisdom Tekena. I'm a fashion designer, a business strategist. Yeah, I'm also a student of LASSO. Yeah, that's it.
So thank you once again. Welcome to the mini experience, mini stage experience. And without further ado, I've not introduced myself. None of you asked me to introduce myself, and it's really bad. You all introduced yourself, but you didn't ask me to introduce myself. But I will introduce myself nevertheless. So my name is Gbemi Oluwagbemiga. My name is Oluwagbemiga. I'm a photographer, I'm not a fashion designer. I wanted to say fashion designer. I'm a photographer. I'm also a media personnel. I do a lot of things together, but anything requiring media, content creation, and all for it into it. Thank you very much, and I hope that we enjoy our little time spent here. Without further ado, I want us to go into introducing to us the Ink Limited, what it's all about, the vision and the mission of the Ink. And I would like to introduce the founder of, I think with a round of applause, please. A round of applause. I'd like to introduce the founder in person of Mr. Virtue David to introduce to us what Ink is all about. Welcome, sir.
Okay, good day everyone. My name is Virtue David. I'm the founder of Ink Limited, a public speaking and creative platform that helps showcase people's voices, helps promote ideas and creativity. This is what Ink is all about in simple terms. We are there to advocate for innovation of ideas, innovation for creativity, and we are there to make sure that people's voices are being heard, no matter where they are from or how they see themselves. Their voices are being heard, and yes, that is how Ink come about, and this is the reason for Ink. Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate. I love the fact that he said that creative voices being heard, and we having confidence in being a creative. And that is where I think I said this is my first time doing this, and I think I'm already enjoying it. Am I actually looking to start hosting? Am I trying, please? I'm doing well. So thank you very much. I think if I do 2-3 more of something like this, I'll be able to stand on different bigger stages. Thank you very much. So we need to understand why we are here. We need to understand what it entails for us, why we are actually here. And without further ado, I would also like to welcome the co-founder of Ink Limited, in person of Tracy, to come and tell us why we are here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I trust we are doing well today. So today is our maiden edition, and we are here because we want to give speakers an opportunity to say their story, their authentic story, and that is what we are having today. We'll have speakers come to share their story with us, and it's not just by listening; it's by building your confidence, and we also learn by listening to them. So I want to thank you all for being here today, and I hope and I believe that we are going to have an amazing moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Uh, yes, I think we now understand very much why Ink was founded and also why we are here. And we would not be taking much of our time because we actually started a bit late, and we just want so that we could end up as fast as possible, because even after our speakers we still have a session where it's a podcast where we have a podcast session where we want to listen to our speaker also being questioned. So without taking much of our time, each of our speakers are going to be taking they're going to be having just 10 minutes to speak with us on each of their topic. Just 10 minutes. And the very first speaker we'll be calling all is Mr. Wisdom. Mr. Wisdom being our very first speaker, and he's going to be taking us on the topic the bitter truths. As creative, what are the bitter truths for us to know as creatives to stand out in our creative space. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Wisdom on the topic, the bitter truths. Thank you very much, sir.
My name is Wisdom Tekena. I would like to talk on the topic bitter truths today, because we are actually young people, and we are people trying to look for different ways to achieve success or achieve great things in life. And most of the time we are wrongly informed. We are wrongly informed by the way this stuff works. Life is brutal, like life is crazy, life is brutal. The way you plan the stuff to be, or your life, the business, everything, is not going to come easy like that. So most times when you tell business people or people that want to venture into business about an idea, it's nice. They start talking about the idea, they are pumped up and hyped. But now you don't understand what it takes to be able to start. You don't understand that everything is brutal, everything is designed to even kind of work against you. But you must take advantage of it. You must take advantage of the process. You must enjoy it. You must see yourself like so much in that picture that you kind of look above the circumstances at the moment. So when I say bitter truths, they are eating, because if you keep on focusing on the things that are not working, the things that the orders and everything, you'll be trapped. You must look for the loopholes. There are loopholes. Do you need to be more nice? Do you need to go out and speak up to more people? Do you need to find ways that the old stuff will come out in your favor? Because if you keep on sitting down and doing life like everything is just supposed to work out, that big picture, that goal, that dream, that business is just going to manifest itself into that your desired result, you are lying to yourself. And in the next 5 to 10 years you'll still be where you are, which is not fair, but at the same time that's how life works. I was reading a book from Femi Otedola, and most times people don't even like reading that book because they'll say he came from a better background. But that's on you. Nobody trained you. Why didn't you come from a better background? So when you, as I was reading this story here, there's something he shared on the way. I just looked at it. I was like, okay, this stuff is shared. I can actually implement it. Do you know that I was able to, from the stuff he shared, I did not just get back my money I used to purchase the book. I got like times I'm not exaggerating, like times 10 of my money to that I used to purchase the book. And this is, you have to look at the loopholes, you have to look at the hidden lines. What are they saying? Can I implement this on myself? How will I even go about it? Everything is not just plain. Life is not given to you. Life is crazy. Life is wicked. The people you're embarking on business with, the people you are doing business with, nobody wants to be cheated. Everybody wants something. So you now, your value, how are you rebranding your value? How are you trying to give your value to the world? Even the people that want to come to you, okay, if you're starting up a business or you're doing business, the customers stop coming. You have to look for ways. I sat down recently, and I was thinking, strategizing, like, okay, this stuff I'm doing, how can I make it better? 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 And then ideas will start falling. Ideas, you start having like different thoughts and stuff like that. But now, what do you do with them? Most times, when people have these ideas and have all this stuff in their head, you just stay in this loop. And I feel most of us were in that loop of receiving knowledge. You receive knowledge, you read a book, you listen to that podcast, you are so knowledgeable, but it's not even reflecting on your journey, it's not reflecting on your life. The reason is because we are not taking action on all this knowledge we are receiving. And it's so unfair to yourself. Just as I was saying, like reading that book, the family of the lab, when you want to gist about the book, you see other people that have read the book, they will talk about the book too. And then they won't tell you how the guy came from a rich family, and you're not supposed to be reading the book. Lots of stuff like that. But I don't come from a rich family here. I want to see the what it looks like to come from that kind of family. What it looks like. And most times we are also caught up in this our own point of view, the way we view life, the way we view business, the way we view every single thing. So you have to look at other people, you have to look at other life, you have to look at other people's point of view. How are they even seeing life? How are they even seeing life? How you started this first thing? How you start the second business? If there's a strategy that okay, somebody will just stay and then instantly you make it, maybe everybody will be making it. But this thing is crazy. You have to go into you have to understand that life is a battlefield, and then when you go, the aim is to win. And you keep on trying until you see yourself win. I don't know if I'm making sense, or I don't know if from everything I've said you've been able to grab one or two. But this is what I mean by the bitter truth, that life itself is brutal, and you have to find ways to win. You have to find ways to win. If you keep on being in a place whereby you've come to understand that okay, things are bad. Things are bad. People are struggling. Yes, people are struggling, but there are people that are winning on a daily basis. There are people that are winning non-stop. Their reality is so different from yours, and it's crazy. And it's not because they have it better than you. It's not because their own life is better than yours. We are talking about Femi now. There are other people that came from crazy place, more bad than yours, but guy, they won. So I don't know how you're looking at it, but for me, because I have seen those people that won, I'm going to push myself until I win. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope we were able to pick one or two things from what he has shared with us. Did we hear?
Yes, sir.
Were we able to pick one or two things from what he has shared? That's actually, see, the truth is, I'm sorry I'm taking our time. The truth is, you see that particular book, and he's not actually lying. A lot of people are not looking at the brighter side. They are looking at it from the fact that he's a rich kid. At least his father was once the governor of Lagos State, and he would be able to. I actually read the book too, and I noticed his journey. Why the father always had guests, that he was always, that was even his very first business, where he has to be maybe cutting their nails or something. That was his mindset. Like he knew that I think the help is not coming from anywhere. I have to help myself. To all the stages, like all the places of, oh, he had to leave the school, now going to his father's business of printing. Look at those mindsets. I think people were not able to pick those particular ideas from what he was saying. What they were picking was, this guy is a rich kid now. This guy is a rich kid. He just they give us, you understand? So I understand the perspective of what he has said. Thank you very much, Mr. Wisdom. Can I say God bless you? Sir. God bless you, sir. Our very next speaker. This is actually very impromptu, right? Because so just minutes ago, I was able to just come up with, oh, please, I want you to share one or two things with us. And so the very next topic is purpose is not static. Growing through every stage of your journey. Growing through every stage of your journey, you need to understand that a purposeful person is not static. And I'll be calling on Miss Kene Michael to take us on that topic. Thank you very much.
Speaking of picking someone on the spot. Anyways, what a topic. Purpose is not static. I feel like it's not a coincidence because my journey is basically that topic. Because I started out my career as a content writer. I literally found myself in it because from secondary schools, I always wrote things. I just like writing. And people were like, oh, you know how to write. But I was not getting what they were saying. All I know is I'm holding a pen and I'm putting something down. So an opportunity came, someone needed a writer, and then I was recommended. Moving on to that, I wrote for a while. And then an opportunity came, can you write a business plan? Who knows someone that can write a business plan? And I said, oh, okay. I did it for I think one of the assessments in 300 level. I was like, oh, I've done this thing before, let me just do it. I wrote a business plan. And that's how I found myself as an HR. From writing business plan, I said, oh, okay, since you're starting this company, I would like to be the COO. That was the position I pitched for. And like, okay, do you have experience in it? And I said, no. Like, okay, go and check HR. Read if it's something you can do. And now I have 5+ years experience as a human resource manager. So what does purpose mean? Purpose is doing something that in the long term, it doesn't just affect only you. Like other people can either draw from your experience or your life can affect them in one way or the other. So like most times we're like, okay, I want to do this job, I want to learn this career, so I'll have this money. Money might not always be the purpose. You might not, a career path you go into, you might not make money. That when I was writing, I think at the time, what I was collecting was 20K. So money was not it. I did not get the money that I needed at the time, but I got the experience. And I was able to impact people with that bold step that I did. Because I was able to say, oh, I want to pitch for this position, even though I don't have any experience with it. So in all these years, for like, let's say for over 5-6 years, I've gone from a content writer to a human resource manager to an operation manager. So even till now, if people ask me what do you do, I'm still a little, I'm not sure what to say. Because do I say I'm a content writer? Do I say I'm a human resource manager? What do I say exactly? Because in as much as all these things marry themselves, they're not the same at the same time. Oh, did I forget to mention, I did social media management as well. So I also ran that, like, even though I never got paid for that role, I help people manage their social media accounts because I learned about marketing. So over time you just see you find yourself doing different things at different points in your life, not because you're supposed to make money from that thing, but because of you find purpose. It might be a lesson for somebody else. And I don't know if you're a religious person, but I'm a religious person. And my purpose is to serve God and make him known. So in anything I do, I'm supposed to do it really well. So it might not make me money. I might not think I'm doing it well at the time. But as long as I keep putting in the effort, I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, ask questions, find out, do your research. Don't say, oh, because I don't know this thing, I'm not going to do it. Just do it, make mistake. The least that can happen is you made a mistake, you learn from it, and you move on. So that's basically it. So all I'll say is life is in phases. So you grow, and your purpose is not exactly static. You might not just always be a photographer today. Tomorrow, you might be an MD of an oil and gas company. It might not be the path you think is going to go, but just find purpose in what you do. That's what I'll say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that very short one. Purpose is not static. You have to grow through every stages of your journey. Thank you very much. So going to our very next speaker, the very delectable co-founder of Ink Limited, in person of Miss Tracy. She'll be taking us on the topic silence the noise and own your truth. Silence the noise and own your truth. Please let's welcome the very co-founder of Ink Limited, in person of Miss Tracy.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be speaking on the topic silence the noise, own your truth. And I just want to ask us a very brief question. Have you wondered why videographers usually take out the noise from the video? That's because they want you to focus on the video. They want you to get the message without any distractions of whatever form. And silencing the noise in this context is taking out distractions, taking out different things that will just cloud your mind and refuse you from realizing that this is your truth. So moving on, I've realized that most young persons like us, we just live in isolation from truth. Like, we don't want to believe that this is the next step that we are supposed to take. And in our world today, noise can come in different forms. I'm not talking about the noise from loudspeakers or from baby cries and all of that. I'm talking about real noise that can cost you a lot of years. Like, when you just when they happen to you, you just tend to like forget the most important thing that you're going to do. And so today I'm going to be diving you all on a journey with me. So some of the noise that I've observed in our world today is people's opinion. You might be wondering, like, how does people's opinion fit into this? But if you are the kind of person that almost everybody have a say in your life, then is the noise we are talking about. Like, everybody will be like, you're not supposed to do this. This is what you're supposed to do. And then you're just so confused and you're distracted. Like, you don't have a say. People are telling you what to do with your life. I'm not saying that you should not, like, take advice or you should hate people for giving you constructive feedback. But at the end of the day, you are yourself. You know what is good for you. You know what you want to do. So people's opinion is one of the noise that affects us. Then moving on, we have social media pressure. For real, this one is getting really high these days. I remember one time I had to like zone off. I had to go off TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram because if I go here, I'll see 10 ways to do this before you spoil your life. If I go to another page, I'll see 50 things you need to do before you clock 25 or before you clock 30. If I go to another page, I just see different things and it's just so much. And then the pressure when you see other people doing what you want to do and they are getting it right, and you'll be like, am I a spoon? Like, why am I lagging behind? What is it they are doing that I'm not doing? And you might look at it that, oh, I'm trying to motivate myself. But once you are getting immersed in this social media pressure, you just lose focus, you lose traction, and then you start comparing your efforts to other persons. For real, you don't know what they do in the night when you are sleeping and scrolling. Some persons are out there putting in the work, they are going extra miles. Some people are even doing things that will rob them of their conscience, and you are trying your best to like bring yourself up. So that is part of the noise that we are talking about. And then another noise that I've also realized that we need to shut out is society's expectation. You know, they will tell you go to school, get a degree, get a job, and then get married. And so many of us, we just follow that plan. Like, we just want to go to school, want to do this. Oh, I studied mass communication, for instance. Now I studied mass communication. Yes, I am doing things within that aspect. But who says if I see an opportunity to go for an audition for a cast, a role, you are going to find me there? Who says if you have the opportunity to do something that you really want to do, why not? But society expects that, oh, because you've done this, because they see you as this is what they want. And when you begin to like tailor your own truth to society's expectation, for real, things will get worse, and these same people will leave you. Like, they will just say, oh, is it not that girl? Now she know, like, she's the one that used her life that way. But at the end of the day, when you realize that society's expectation might not be your own truth, and you decide to like do what you know that is best for you, it means you are owning your truth. So moving on, another noise that I've also noticed that we need to like really, really pay attention to, we need to really shut the noise off, because if we do not, it will affect us badly. Another one that I've also noticed that is a distraction is you worry too much, like anxiety. You really, really worry too much. And this has happened to me before. I had the opportunity to go for a competition, and from the first stage, I was really doing well. Second stage, like, hey, they were championing me, like, yeah, good girl and stuff like that. You're really good at this. And then when we got to like the final stage, the final round, and I heard other people speak, I'm like, I'm not sure I will be able to do this. These people are good. I don't think I'll be able to win. And then at some point, I started shrinking, and then I lost. So at the end of the day, anxiety will really, really rob you from a lot of things. Like when you are scared in the morning, let's say around 8 a.m., you have started thinking, I don't think I can do this. 9 o'clock, in fact, I'll just quit. 10 o'clock, like the noise just keep piling up, and it start reflecting in your action, reflecting your attitude towards life. And it also reflects with the people around you. Like people that comes around you are people that want to like talk you down, and when you go to them, they know that this is the problem you want to complain about, so they will want to say something that will make you feel better. Just leave them. Okay, I want to do this. I don't think, just leave them. Don't kill yourself. That's where you begin to like find yourself. So moving on, some of the key steps that I believe that will help us, fight this noise. Because if you're someone like me that back then I used to doubt, I used to have this fear, like when I come out and I speak to people, I just have this fear that, oh, what if they don't like me? Or what if I just mess up? Or what if at the end of the day they just leave me? I think one of the steps that you can do to help you become better and shut out the noise, silence the noise, is learning. You need to learn, like for real. You need to know what you need to do that can help you move better. I came across this post, and then this person said something that, what exactly are you doing to own your truth? Don't just say, I want to do this today. Like today, I want to become somebody that is very fluent in speaking. I want to be able to face the crowd. Okay, so what are you doing exactly that is making you achieve what you want? It's not by saying you want to do this. Like, what are the steps? Every day that you wake up, what are the steps? How are you learning? How are you working towards it? And that will bring me to another angle that we all really need to do, which is to learn how to be confident. For you, anywhere you find yourself, you need to like rate yourself, speak up. We were having a creative gathering one time ago, and then one guy was like, he's a very good person, but anytime he comes out to like say something, like he just feels that there's no need because they know it and he's not sure. But another thing is you need to have that confidence in yourself. Like, you need to speak up, because if you do not say your truth, someone else will say it for you. And when someone else says it for you, then how do you now say your truth? Because you will not want to like live life feeling that, oh, this is something I should have done that I did not do. And sometimes when we listen to older creatives or older persons share their story and they're like, I should have done this at that time, or I did not do it, it's not my fault, I felt like there's no need. You need to build that confidence. You need to speak up, and you also need to choose clarity over confusion. Like, if you're the kind of person that you do a lot of things, very good, but how does this tie to your truth? How do you tie it round to your truth, your personality, what you really want? And if you cannot silence the noise, you cannot find your truth. But for some persons that are really, really like gifted, some persons is different for them. They already know their truth before silencing their noise. But the problem is how to silence your noise, which demands like a very, very great effort from all of us. So when you can like silence your noise, then you can own your truth. And so I want to like also put it to us today, like when we go back to our respective homes, I want us to like protect our space, ignore distractions, and most especially we should choose clarity over confusion. Because whether we like it or not, we are living in a world where social media takes our attention from the things that we are supposed to do, and then we see people live different lifestyles that we don't know what is really happening in the backstage, and we just feel pressured. But if you can sit down and tell yourself that you need to choose clarity over whatever you are seeing, then that way you are silencing the noise and you are picking your truth. For me, as someone that usually shrink before, when I learned this line, like, do not shrink yourself, do not make yourself so small so that others will feel okay, that was when I realized that there are some times that we just shrink too small, and because we don't want to own our truth. But for real, if you really want to, there are a lot of work that we need to do. And then, without wasting much of our time, I also want us to know that in the process of owning your truth, you need to know who you truly in the process of owning your truth, you need to, one, know who you truly are, what your name is. For instance, you know who you are. You know that when they call Tracy, I'm the one. Then who you are, like, what do you do? What makes you stand out? What is that value that you can offer? Which is the second one, your value. What are your dreams? What is your identity? Your beliefs, your story, your authentic story, your strength. You know your strength, you know your weakness. You know that there are certain things that can like bring you down. What are you doing to overcome them? If you cannot, then stay clear from it and then focus on your strengths. That's another way you can own your truth. And then also your journey, like do not discard those moments that build you up. I know of people that will be like, oh, my throwback videos, once I get popular, I'll just delete all of them. I don't want people to like see those things. But for real, those are what build you up at the end of the day. When you feel like you are bringing yourself down, those videos are there to remind you of your journey, of your strengths, and the things that you've overcome so far. And so, in conclusion, I want us to limit negative beliefs. There will always be noise. I want us to know that there will always be noise. Just because I said, oh, we need to do this. Life is not like, somebody will say life does not have one single pattern. But when they've practically noticed that certain steps work, then we can all like adapt to it. There will always be noise, like criticism, pressure, doubt, comparison. For me, when I started as a journalist with the Nigerian Observer, all my colleagues there, they've had like over 10 publications on the newspaper, and I did not have any. And this was running into like the second week. I was stressed, I was thinking, I was worrying. And then when I started putting the effort and doing my best, that was when I picked up. And even when I moved to another print, another news media, the person there was trying to, like, downplay my effort, and I just made him realize that, oh, this is what I can do. And I talked to myself, I know where I'm coming from, I know the effort I've put into myself to be here. So at the end of the day, criticism will come, pressure will come, but how are you being true to yourself? How are you owning your truth? How are you pushing the doubt and the comparison aside? Growth truly begins when we learn to quiet our distractions, and then when we listen to ourselves. Owning your truth means embracing who you are without fear or apology. And then when you silence the noise and stand confidently in your identity, you create a life where there is peace, where there is purpose, just like our former speaker said. Purpose, like, you already know that you are walking in line with your purpose and you're on the right track. Thank you very much.
We would like to go to the very last session for the day. I'll be calling on the founder. Please, can you appreciate the founder, the visionary of Ink Limited, in person of Mr. Virtue David, to take us a session on who sets the standard. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Today we are talking about a very important and interesting topic: who sets the standard. And it's very interesting because a lot of people are following the crowd mentality and the crowd mindset. They are living their lives based off of assumptions and what people say or what people think. And this is why we are asking the question, who sets the standard? I believe there are a lot of us that have heard at some point people say things like, I want to be like Otedola, I want to be like Dangote, I want to be like Mark Zuckerberg, or basically any other prominent people in the world today. But the truth is, they can't, and they will never. Yes, I might sound as if I'm not wishing them well or sounding as the devil's advocate, but the truth is that these people that you want to be like, they have different experiences, they have different upbringing that shapes their personality, that made them who they are today. And when you try to contrast it, you see that your life is totally different from this person's experience. So tell me, how can you be like these people? It's no way. That you cannot, and you will not. Let me put it that way. So the question to be asked is, what can I learn from this person's story? What can I learn from this person's journey of life? I think that is the more better question to ask. Not necessarily you wanting to be like Otedola, you wanting to be like Mark Zuckerberg or whosoever. When we pick out the lessons, our lives become better because we as human beings, we are individualistic, we are separate. Though we require human connection, we require people to communicate with, but we are separate, we are very different from what other people think or feel, right? So we are our own person, and this is why we need to believe that we must learn from other people's journey, but not aspire to be like them. Yes, it might sound very innocent to say these words, but when observed under microscopic lens, you see that these statements are not true. These things are not visible. So I'll go straight to the point and I'll tell you what to do, because I'll tell you what to do and I'll tell you how to go about it. Because a lot of people tell you just what to think. They tell you what to do. They don't tell you how to go about it or how to even think about those 13 types of thoughts in the first place. So how can you think, or what do you need to know to be able to do differently? The question is, you need to ask yourself, who are you? The question, who am I, speaks to identity, right? When you know who you are, your life will be much easier, right? And just like the religious folks, if you know whose you are, your life will be 10 times better than people who are following the crowd. Whose are you? If you are a child of God, you know that you don't need to insult your neighbor. You know that you don't need to do dubious things to be able to be successful, to be able to make impact in the world and change life in the world today. You know that you are going to be operating from a place of rest. Yes, we know there's something called peer pressure, and this is the determining factor of what the standard look like, right? The society has made it look as if the standard is being famous, the standard is having a lot of money in your account, the standard is getting married. These are the metrics that the society use to place people to a standard, right? And not just because society wants to place you to a standard for your own betterment. Society wants to place you in that standard for your own detriment, for you to like just follow the crowd mentality, the crowd mindset, and not actually grow. That's why you see a lot of people trying to struggle. They want to be like certain people, but they don't necessarily want to do what those people did. They don't want to put in the work, right? They don't want to put in the work. They just want to just wake up one day and be like them. And sometimes, because the lives of these people are very private, we don't know what these people have actually done to get to that point, but we just believe that that is the standard, that is the goal, right? And it even begins to affect us psychologically. It begins to affect our everyday lives, that when you see somebody post something on their WhatsApp status, that if you are not talking about money conversations, if you are not bringing deals, then we don't have anything to talk. That is a poor way to think. I believe that's a poor way to think. I believe human beings have this need for connection, this need for interaction, right? And money should not necessarily be the metrics for communication or the metrics for attention, right? But because we live in a world whereby everybody is so focused on making money, everybody is so focused on using money as the metric, that is why we are stuck. That is why we feel like the standard is just getting famous and just becoming wealthy, right? And every other thing doesn't matter. So we need to do better. We need to ask ourselves, what are we actually setting as the standard for ourselves, and who is actually setting the standard? When we are aware that society is setting the standard for us, we will do better. We will know that society don't like us. In fact, society has already programmed us unintentionally. Right from when we are little children, society have been programming us. Society have been making us to see lives in this way. And that is why we have social media today. Social media has even made it more worse. It has made it look as if everybody just need to press a button and they will become millionaires. It makes being a millionaire, even if we know that sometimes it might be very hard, very difficult to attain millionaires, to be a millionaire, people now see being a millionaire as something that they have to do urgently, something that they have to like just do it anyhow, right? By all means. They don't even care if they step on your toes. They don't care if they hurt your feelings. They don't care. So long as they can make money and so long as they can be famous. Because why? Society has told them that the standard is being famous, right? When we begin to ask ourselves these questions, who am I? We will know that we are not meant to do certain things. We are not meant to go to certain heights for us to make money, for us to be wealthy, for us to even have good communications. And that is why, because of this standard, like I said earlier, society doesn't have anything good for you in mind. Because of these standards of making money, people no longer have or spend time with their families or with their partners. They just believe that that's the goal. You don't have common sense to think of building your character, to becoming good persons to your neighbor, because you feel money is the standard. Now you no longer learn those good attributes, those good character traits, because money is the standard. You don't even know how to communicate with people because money is the standard. If money is the standard, if fame is the standard, then we are doomed as a country, we are doomed as a nation, we are doomed as a people, right? So asking yourself, who am I? Whose am I? For those who are religious folks, the Christians, whose are you? Because if you belong to God and God is love, definitely you should love your neighbor. You should treat your neighbor as yourself. this question, whose are you, is very important. And when you begin to ask ourselves these questions like who sets the standard, who am I, whose am I, we are taking that step further to making our lives better. That is the beginning, and that's the point whereby everything begins to make sense. If you don't ask yourself this question, nothing will make sense to you. It's an identity thing. So I hope this helps somebody out there to ask themselves, who are you, whose are you, and who sets the standard. Thank you very much.
Sorry, we are working with time, and we're about to bring this mini stage experience to a close. We will not be able to have the podcast session. We'll not be able to have the podcast session. So the very last session is we meeting ourselves, exchanging contact, getting to know ourselves, and we call it a day till we see us next time. We have cakes and snacks. I think it can cater for every one of us. As much as you want to eat, we have it on ground. So make sure that you get a snacks, you get something to eat, and connect with people, not one person. Connect with people. Thank you for your time at the Ink Limited mini stage experience. See you next time. Thank you.